Hello and welcome to UK4UKR. Manoeuvre out of here. Back on. Right. Okay, we're off. We're off in a motor car. 50 kilometers off the bus. We don't know where we are. Right. Shit, there's a big lorry next to me. Are you gonna let me in? You kidding me? Arsehole. You know when like you're in a lane to come in on the motorway, and like there's something that's just not slowing down to let you in, so you have to floor it. Okay, sorry, didn't mean to swear. Maybe we should start again. Hello. Welcome to UK4UKR.com. I'm Graham Hughes. I've just been to the border with Ukraine, the border between Poland and Ukraine, and I dropped off some aid there. I dropped off a little bit of medical aid at the actual border itself to my friend Dr. Gordon, who's there. He's an army medic working on the border. And then I went to the refugee help centre nearby and dropped off the rest of the aid. I did a live video from the humanitarian aid centre. You're obviously not allowed to film inside it, but I did a live video from the actual car park on Sunday night. Just talking about my experience of going into the part of the refugee centre where the refugees are staying until they can find someone to take them where they need to go, or arrange transport to move on, or if they need medical help, get the medical help that they need. So basically, I hope you can hear me all right. By the way, if you can't hear me properly, if I'm sounding really spotty, let me know. It's like a clicking noise, let me know. I'll restart the stream. So anyway, yeah, I was a bit taken aback, actually, just seeing this room. It used to be a Tesco. So I want you to imagine your local Tesco or your Sainsbury's, your Asda, wherever you do your shop, Lidl, Aldi. As you know, bit bigger than let's think of a big supermarket here. Take out all the shelves, take out all of the food, all of the drinks, all the toys, everything. Just take everything out, and you're left with this vast space. And then you fill that vast space up with camp beds in rows. Camp beds. Hundreds of camp beds. And then in each camp bed each camp bed is allocated to a different member of hundreds of different families that are there waiting for the next stage of their journey that's torn them from their homeland. All men between the ages of 18 and 60, unless they've got too many kids, they have to stay and fight. So there's lots of women who say goodbye to their husbands, perhaps never to see them again. Lots of children. Some kids were playing football out in the entryway when I got there. There's a lot of old people, old men, old women. There's an area set aside which has got like hospital beds rather than camp beds, and that's pretty much reserved for the elderly. Although there are a few injured people who are being treated there. And it just breaks my heart that this is happening. This is actually happening in real life on our doorstep. here in Europe. Oh, and a quick word to the wise. I know there's only a few people watching this, but seriously, if I know you in real life, you dare suggest that it's significant in any way, shape, or form that Ukraine was corrupt in the past and doesn't show up very well in the Human Corruption Index, or whatever it's called. I mean, Russia's still below it. You get too many Ukrainians owning houses in Belgrade. You don't get too many Ukrainians interfering with British elections and referenda. You don't get too many Ukrainians being elevated to the House of Lords, even though their dad was a spy. You get too many Ukrainians inviting Boris Johnson to his sordid little sex parties in Italy. But I just want to tell you that if anyone says that, and I know them in real life, there's a really, really good chance that next time I see them, I might do something that I might regret. Although, I'll probably regret it more. So I'm just warning you, please, just don't say that to me. Because it's almost like you're grasping for a justification for what is happening in Ukraine. And there is no justification whatsoever. Even if they have the most corrupt government in the world. Victoria, the woman the mother who I just brought to Ukraine, 2 young boys, 5 months pregnant. She had to say goodbye to her husband. She's had her life turned completely upside down. To do that to human beings for no reason whatsoever. I no, don't scrabble around for some kind of justification for it. There is no justification. Okay, some things are just so evil. They don't need an explanation. They don't need a backstory. They don't need a tragic backstory of why it ended up this way or why that person ended up that way. Some people are just evil, and we have to live with that. And we have to make sure that those evil people don't get into power. That's number one priority for civilization as we know it. Anyway, yeah, Lee, let's do a run. That'll be good. Okay, so I was just telling you about my experience. So after I've spoken a little bit about the last couple of days, because obviously I couldn't really, I felt very uncomfortable filming in the car because we had 3 children in the back, and although their mums were okay with it, I just said, oh no, because this is going out on multiple platforms, and yeah, I know if it was my stepdaughters, I'd be a bit, I don't really want that going out live. So just kind of like filling in the gaps here a little bit from the feed. So yeah, Sunday night I slept in the van. That was fun. Woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get to sleep till 1. Woke up about 4 and it was absolutely freezing. All I had was Kieran's travel blanket over me. Thank God he left that in the car. I didn't have a sleeping bag or anything. So just slept in my clothes. I slept in my coat actually. My hoodie on, my beanie hat on. And I woke up about 4 o'clock in the morning. Bloody hell, it's cold. So turn the engine on to get the blower going, to get the heat in the car, right? I fell asleep with the engine going. When I woke up, a couple of hours later, the engine was off. I don't know what happened. I don't know if there is a shut off on vehicles if you leave the van idling and sitting there for 2 hours. Do they turn off? I don't know. Did someone open the door and turn the engine off because they're like, oh, bloody making too much noise? I don't know. All I know is I woke up and the engine wasn't running. I thought, oh God, I fell asleep in the engine. So good job I'm still here, everyone. I wasn't in the garage, I was in the car park. Woof. Anyway, so I woke up at just before 6 actually, and I got a text message from a nice Polish lady at the at the refugee centre. I had registered the night before. I got my pass, got my little green wristband here, to say I was a designated driver or registered driver, sorry. And I had to have a COVID test this time. I didn't have a COVID test last time. I had to have a COVID test. The guy goes, here you go, gives it to me. It's one of those things like everyone's done them so many times now. He doesn't have to tell me what to do. Just up your nose, yeah, up your nose. Gave it back to him, and he put it into the stuff, the solution, and dripped it onto the little tray. And he went, okay, negative. And I went, did he have to wait 20 minutes? And he's like, okay. So he took a photo of it, negative, good, off you go. So these are very fast. You don't have to wait 20 minutes. So hopefully not COVID. And then yeah, I got my pass. I went in and registered, and then the next morning, the lady had already texted me when I woke up. So I got a text about 6:15 or something in the morning, and it said the family would be ready to go with me at 7. I thought, great. But actually, no, I thought, first of all, I was like, shit, I'm going to have to clear out the van. Because the van was just absolutely full of junk, coffee cups galore. It's not looking too great at the moment, actually. An insane number of cups. And so I cleaned it all out. There was a big dumpster bin. And then I had to put the seats up. Kevin, if you're watching this, he'll have a laugh about this. So basically, all the seats fold down, and then they fold up again. But each seat had its own lever in its own unique position for that seat. No two seats have the same lever in the same position. And I did all right until I got to the back. The back set of seats, 2 sets of seats, 2 rows of seats. The back row. I was like, I must have taken about, oh God, far too long. An uncomfortable amount of time to admit that it took, but it took a long time to suss out that no, it didn't have a lever under it or on the side of it like the other seat. It had a pull thing in the middle. And I'm like, I'm just trying everything. And in the end, I just pull this thing, and the seat goes, smacked me in the face. And I was like, you. I don't want to swear. Yeah. At 6 o'clock in the morning, when you've been sleeping in the van, and a seat has the audacity to smack you in the face, it's not exactly the breakfast of champions. Anyway, so I went to the refugee centre, and I said, great, I'm ready to go now. They said, cool, come back at 7. So I went and got myself some coffee to eat, coffee to drink, and from the World Food Kitchen, which is a fantastic enterprise where they give out free food, basically. Situations like what Ukraine is facing at the moment. And then they actually turned up a bit early. And I noticed that the UK flag last time, remember me and Burr mentioned that the UK had the biggest flag. The flag had half fallen down. no one was there to pin it back up again. Also, when I went to when I was allowed round the back on the Saturday night, she's not normally allowed back there unless you're a refugee or a volunteer, just because I had stuff to drop off. I actually went past the British table, supposed to help people who are looking to come to the UK. I think they just refer them to Facebook groups, honestly, and that's what happens. I tell you what, Wes Streeting is standing in for James O'Brien on LBC. I'll be calling up tomorrow, so if you're listening, look out for that. Because Labour are supporting the Tories' inhumane, disgusting, improper, Machiavellian, vile, absolutely unconscionable policy of demanding visas on people before they come to the UK. And when I say people, I don't just mean grizzled old army veterans. No. women, pregnant women, children, newborn babies, ladies and gentlemen. So if I get through, I'm going to explain to Wes that I originally was coming out here to pick up a woman who was 8 months pregnant. That was the original plan. I was going to bring her back to the UK with her family. But the stress of getting this woman back into the country, getting this woman into the UK, sent to the hospital. Look at it, she's pregnant. She's pregnant. 8 months pregnant. She already had the stress of having to leave a war zone. And on top of that, the British government, and everyone who voted for them, I guess, and the Labour Party, because they are supporting this policy of wanting visas, they're saying they want to make it easier. No, get rid of them. Get rid of the visa requirement before you enter. Bring in a requirement that you have to get your visa once you're in the country. That is it. And if you do turn out to be a Russian spy, we'll throw you in jail. There you go. I guarantee the number of people, the number of newborn babies who will turn out to be Russian spies will be 0. So I hope we get through tomorrow. Because the woman who I was supposed to be picking up decided that coming to the UK was too much stress. Because even though her family, 6 members of her family, had visas all sorted, if she gave birth before she got to the UK, her baby wouldn't have a visa. So this woman, 8 months pregnant, has returned to Ukraine. The Tory party, everyone who voted for them, and the Labour Party, by the looks of things, drove an 8-month pregnant woman back into a war zone because it was less stress than getting an effing visa for our effing country. F. F, F, double F, F. Mother effers. Yeah, not happy about that. Anyway, so back to the story. I feel like I'm doing it up Pompeii here. Getting distracted by tangents. So I meet the family that I'll be taking to Utrecht. At that point, I didn't know where I was taking them. Actually, I just knew I was taking them to the Netherlands. Anywhere in the Netherlands, I will take you. Going to a little road. This is not good. I'm a little road. A big little road. Have I missed a turning or something? What is this making me do? The UK government are mostly Republican. Yeah, but why are Labour supporting them? Why are Labour supporting this idea that people should go? I must have missed the turning. Sat nav taking me back on the place. It's all the Tories' fault. Get me agitated. No work done. You know what people are like with people's lives, the 3 million. Yeah, the 3 million. Referring to the 3 million EU citizens who had their rights, their dignity, everything stripped from them when they weren't allowed to vote in the EU referendum, which, for some unknown and possibly unbelievable reason, members of the Commonwealth could vote. So if you are living in the UK and you had a passport from Tuvalu, the other side of the planet, yeah, there's a country called Tuvalu. I've been there twice. Met the Prime Minister of Tuvalu. It's called Willie Tavali. Nice bloke. Tuvalu means group of 8. There's actually 9 of them in the country. And it's one of the most endangered countries in the world because the highest point is about 1 metre above sea level. But that's enough about Tuvalu. The point is that if you were from Tuvalu, you were allowed to vote in that referendum. But if you were from France, you weren't. If you've been from France and you've been living in the UK for 2 decades, you were not allowed to vote in that referendum to decide on your future. But that's what the British people want. The British people are a gang of F-wits. Anyway, so I'll try not to miss my turning this time. Racing a little bit, actually, to be honest with you. I'm going to get to Calais in time. Um, so just before 6 o'clock in the morning, sorry, just before 7 o'clock in the morning, I met with my the family that I'll be bringing to Utrecht. There was the mum, Victoria, and she had two boys named Arthur and Timur. And then she had her friend with her, whose name was Dasha, and she had a daughter, about 7 or 8 years old, called Barbara. And then there was um, Victoria's mother-in-law, who was called Olga. She was with us. So there were six people in total. Well, seven if you include the baby, who will be born on the 25th of August, all being well, which is very close to my stepdaughter's birthday. So I'll have to tell my stepdaughter about that. She'll be very excited. Um, anyway, so none of them spoke English except for Victoria, who spoke a little bit of English. So we did a lot of communication using Google Translate, which is invaluable. And yeah, it was nice. We spoke a little bit, tried to chat and drive. It was a big drive yesterday. We started at 7 o'clock, and we were piled into the van. We set off and stopped along the way quite a few times because I think that Victoria was quite keen to get going and that our kids should just be quiet and not complain about it. But I was very clear that if anyone needed to stop for any reason, the toilet or hungry or someone wanted to, whatever, that we would stop. So we did quite a few stops on the way through Poland, and then we stopped just on the border of Poland and Germany because the fuel is a lot cheaper in Poland. So I filled up the van and we got some KFC. And I knew this would happen because obviously when a couple of weeks ago when we brought over Alex and Alexandra, they were very, very hesitant to actually they were very hesitant to accept anything like food, buying them anything, trying to get them money. They don't want money, they don't want anything. And so I had to make it really clear that this wasn't my money that we were using. This was money that was donated by kind people. And I did explain that we feel bad in the UK. Obviously, people have contributed from other places, and thank you so much for that. But for us in the UK, like, our government's made it so difficult for Ukrainians fleeing the war. So difficult, absolutely unnecessarily difficult, that this is us saying sorry. Sorry about our government. Please have some KFC. Please, enjoy yourself. So we got a bucket. We got a bucket amongst other things, and it's great. Kids finished off the lot. Absolutely demolished it. Don't forget the 1.6 million UK citizens in Europe. Yeah, they weren't given a vote either. Oh, some of them were, but if they've been away, been out of the country for like more than 5 years, is it? They weren't given a vote. If they lived in another country in Europe and they'd lived there for a couple of decades, I think that would allow them to stay where they were or not, as the case may be. Let's not go back over the referendum because it just upsets me so much that so many idiots were taken in by that. We're told that they'll get 350 million from the NHS. Do you know what? If a posh person in a bus, a posh person who's never been on a real bus, if they tell you they're going to give 350 million to the NHS a week, when things sound a bit too good to be true. Yeah, that. Don't fall for it again, please. Anyway, so moving swiftly on. So we got across the border into Germany, and we were considering staying in Hanover. But I spoke to Kieran, and he was like, came over through the Channel Tunnel yesterday on a job, and he said, Graham, it's absolute bedlam at the Channel Tunnel. It took 5 hours to get through, and I've got to get back home. So we'll keep going to Osterbrook. It's only 3 hours or 2.5 hours from Utrecht. We'll stay there tonight. So Kieran, being awesome, he booked a hotel. So we got 2 triple rooms for the 2 families, and I got a room to myself. And so we stayed in Utrecht last night. Got up nice and early, 7 o'clock this morning. We were off up and at 'em and hit the road again. We got to Utrecht this morning at about I was aiming for 10 o'clock, but I think it was about 11 o'clock by the time I found somewhere to park. So I don't know if you know Utrecht. I certainly don't. If you go to the central station, there's a shopping mall there. So I naturally thought there'll be a car park, right? And there is a car park, but it's down. You got to go underground, right, to get into it. And basically, if you're coming from one way, in order to get down that, you have to do what looks like an illegal U-turn, because you have to cut up. If anyone's coming up the ramp, you will cut them up, turning around them. So I thought, well, I keep going and I'll turn around to come back, right? Oh my God, trying to do a U-turn in Utrecht, ironically, considering that city begins with a U, you'll think it would be something that you could do. No U-turns in Utrecht. I had to drive around the whole bloody city centre to get back on the road that I was already on. So I was on the correct side of the road that I could hit the entry ramp for the car park I was trying to get to. Anyway, I know you don't care. Still entertaining. Anyway, so eventually, I managed to get the 2 families down to down into the car park, and then we went into the shopping mall, and it's quite emotional. A lot of hugs. I gave Victoria some money, and I knew that she would be a little bit. I knew she wouldn't take it. I knew she would not take it if I tried to just, here you go, here's some money. So I specifically said, this is for the baby. This has been a gift given by the people who are supporting us, watching the videos. This is a gift for the baby. And I said, I just hope that the baby never knows war. And the tears. Yeah, it's so shit. It's so shit. Why are we doing this? Why is this happening? Why doesn't Biden just give Vladimir Putin 24 hours to get them out of Ukraine? That's it, mate. You see what we'll do. You see what we'll do. We've got 24 hours. Every single Russian tank, every single bit of artillery, every single soldier out of Ukraine. You've got 24 hours. You see what we do if you don't do that. That's what I would do if I was the president of the United States of America. I get a bloody aircraft carrier and put it out off the coast of just in international water. Anyway, we are coming into Belgium. In fact, we're in Belgium. We've just got to Belgium, the bit of the Benelux countries. And I know you can't see this, but there's lots of wind turbines. So, as with Alexandra, me and Victoria connected on Facebook. Keep in touch, and I'll make sure that she's doing all right. Oh, I've lost signal. Shit. Signal. Sorry, I'm going to signal. I'll have to stream again. I'll do that in a moment. So I'll see you soon. I'll do lose signal when I cross borders. I'll just turn off in a minute and I'll come back on. It's probably best I'm not in the middle of a sentence. Time to switch networks. Thank you. Welcome to Belgium.